need to work for me. So if we think about goals generally, what happens is the 31st of December, before we go into a really big New Year's party, we think about our year and we come up with all these fantasies. And I call them fantasies because they're not really goals, because we think, from the 1st of January, miraculously, our health is just going to get better. We're going to run, we're going to eat well, we're going to be fit, we're going to find that person of our dreams, we're going to commit to being a better parent, whatever the case may be. And by the 7th or 8th of January, those fantasies have already been broken because we don't understand the process. And today I want to help take you a little bit through that and explain the process, but talk a little bit of it from a business context. And therefore, before we start, I'm going to ask you a question. Let me just get it up on the screen here for you. And it's a question that I ask everybody that I interact with at the moment, because I think it's so relevant to where we are as a country. So I'd like you to type into the chat box, are you proudly South African? If you think you're proudly South African, then please type it in. I'd love to see your answers. And if you're not, you're welcome to say so, because I think it's easy to know the theory and to listen to all this, but there's enough going on around us to not be that proud sometimes, especially when you're reading the news. So looking at it, 100% proudly South African. Oh, yes, sir, definitely. Great. So the same thing I challenged Thabo and many others a few years ago on that is to say, well, if you're proudly South African, why are you sitting pointing fingers at others and not getting off your ass and doing something about it? If you're proudly South African, why are some of you thinking, well, maybe we should immigrate if we could? Wouldn't that be nice? And go to a different country. If we're proudly South African, why are we waiting for politicians to solve our challenges? And why are we not doing it ourselves? Because here's my belief. If you're proudly South African and you truly believe in something, you will do something about it. If you believe that you are a good partner, a good spouse, a good husband, a good father, you will do something about it. If you believe that you are good at managing money, you will do something about it. But it's too easy for us to fall into the trap of, yes, the theory, that sounds good, but we don't turn it into action. And there's a reason our company's called Action Coach, because it's not maybe tomorrow coach. It's not maybe when I get a loan coach, when the economy grows coach, when the coronavirus dies coach, when we find a new president or a new political party coach. It's none of that. It's the actions we take. And I encourage you today, as we share a lot of good information with you, to jot it down, to make notes, to participate, but then also to take the necessary action, which is important. So, and I see a comment here coming in from David. It's so easy to criticize and do nothing. And it's the perspective that we lack often in the process. So if we're proudly South African, I'm going to share a video with you because I know some of you are struggling with signal today. So just click on that link for YouTube. It'll probably open up another video, take you off Zoom, just come back here again. You can watch it later on. But it just talks about the journey of entrepreneurship and how we don't always realize the struggles and the time and the effort that it does take. We just see the end result. And I'll mention that as we go through the session today as well. So I think the first thing to understand is, why do we set goals? And for today, I'd like you to take a step back, because the reality of setting goals is that we need to take a step back, is that we need to think this through, because it's my life. Now, here's the difficult thing. Type in the chat box, who do you think has got something better planned for your life than you? So you've maybe got some great ideas for your life, maybe some dreams, maybe some goals. Who's got something better planned for your life than you? And pretty much everybody's saying, maybe God, came the comment. Yes. No one but myself. God, only myself. No one but me. No one but me. God, maybe myself. And the only other person maybe is your mother. If you're fortunate enough to have a good nurturing mom and she's still around, maybe your mother or maybe your gogo has got something better planned for you. But other than that, nobody. So if you don't design the life that you want, nobody else will do it. And I saw the comment come up there about this entitlement. there is nobody, and I want to be absolutely frank with you today, nobody that is going to design a better life for you than you. But you have to do it by design. Because when we go into business for ourselves, business is just a vehicle to support me. Now, many of us might have ended up in business because we're forced to. We had no other option. We couldn't get a job. We got retrenched. It was our only outcome. That's fine, but it's still a vehicle for your future, because nothing else is going to fund your life. Nothing else is going to fund your family. Nothing else is going to fund your lifestyle other than your business. So you must do it by design, and therefore it must fit me as an individual in the process. So it was referenced by Lasala when we started. Our true definition of a business is a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. Now, emphasis there on it must work first, because too many of us start a business and think we're going to give it to somebody else and then we're just going to sit on the beach and it's going to make us a lot of money. No. It first needs to be commercially viable. If somebody does not want to pay you for what you offer, whether it be a product or a service, you have no business. There must be a viability to it. There must be a need in the marketplace for it. There then needs to be profit. And profit is simply this: it's the surplus that's left over so we can invest back into growing the business and extract externally to put it into other wealth creation elements. And that's a universal principle. If we do not have growth, we have death. And I saw your question here, Kaish, I'll repeat it now, but if we do not have growth, we have death. Profit is just ensuring that there is growth. It then works, and then we put the systems and the structure into place, which we'll learn through the rest of the year around how to do that. So the definition of a true business is that on your screen there, a commercial, profitable enterprise that works without you. Okay? But the purpose of a business is slightly different. Because if that's what a true business is, then what is the purpose? And the purpose is simply to profitably create raving fans. And raving fans are people that love your business, that refer others, that come back again, that spend money regularly. We want to profitably create that because they must generate a surplus for us so that we can take that surplus and create wealth for ourselves, for our families, and for our communities. Because here's the thing. We read a lot in the newspapers about the ill in the world. We read it on our phones. We hear about corruption. We had the Guptas. We even had, in my neck of the woods here in Stellenbosch, Marcus Jooste with Steinhoff. That's the minority of people on the planet. The majority of people on the planet are good people that want to contribute, and the more that they get, the more that they give. The more time available they have, the more the time they give. The more money available they get, the more they give. So that really creates the spin-off and the true wealth creation that we need in the marketplace. And business is the opportunity to do that. So let's see how we go about that. But before we do, if you've ever come across this man, you'll know the stature of what he presents. If you haven't, you can go to YouTube, type in Jim Rohn. He died many years ago now, but he was known as America's foremost business philosopher. And together with the definition up on his screen, which is pretty much the same thing, to be financially independent, we must turn our income into capital, the capital that we put into a business, into enterprise. We want that to make profit. We want to take that and invest some, and that allows for our independence. There is no other way. That's the process that we go through. And he's got a whole lot of good things. But two quotes I quickly want to share with you that he shares that are hard to face, because it's that ownership about me that then becomes important. And the one that he says is, don't wish that your life was easier. Wish that you were better. That's a hard one, because we all wish that life was better. And I myself go through those moments where I go, it should be easier. Don't wish that life was easier. Wish that you were better. That's a hard one to swallow. And the other one, and we're going to talk about a little bit today around the learning part that Tob also spoke about. Work harder on yourself than you do on your job or on your business. Because you are the catalyst to create that future. So you have to work harder on yourself than you do on your job. And he's got many, many other great quotes and other great sessions that you can watch on YouTube. But those are very pertinent for where we are as entrepreneurs in the process. So just quickly, I'm not going to go through this in detail because it's not that relevant for goal setting, but it's for you to understand that when we get into business for ourselves, it's not one step and that's it. There's layers of entrepreneurship. So if we were fortunate enough to go to school, we even started below the employed level. We started as a scholar, as a student, and we got some education, we got some learning. And then we either went straight into a job and we became employed, or we skipped that part and started our own business and we became self-employed. Doesn't matter how you went there, but then you're self-employed. The problem with being self-employed is that self does everything. Self takes all the stress, self gets paid last, self opens up in the morning, self stays late at night, and therefore self is a little stressed, to be honest, is a little lonely, is a little frustrated. To leverage though, we then go and find people to work for us. But now we have to manage people. Now, as self-employed, I did it all myself. Now I have to get results through other people. I have to manage other people. And it's frustrating. And a lot of people get stuck there because it's just easier to go back and do it myself. It's just easier to pay people so that they sit arms folded and watch me work myself to death. No. I need to get good at that manager part, because then I need to start doing business owner work. So maybe type into the chat box, what do you think business owner work is? So if I was self-employed, I've now got a couple of staff and I've been managing, and now I must do business owner type of work. What do you think business owner type of work is in the process? Network. Yeah, we must network. Oh, that's network problems. Sorry about that. But we must network. That's business owner work. Absolutely. We must do high-level client retention. We must do deals. We must do business development. We must plan. We must strategize. We must lead. I'm doing a session this afternoon around 6 keys to a winning team, and the number one there is lead. We need to manage and delegate. Yeah, because once we get good at the owner part, then we start to get the surplus money that we can now invest at investor level into other businesses, into other assets, back into our business. And then we become the true entrepreneur, like Patrice Matsepe, where if somebody else wants to do a deal, they come to him, and through his financial resources, through his brand, through his networks, through his organization, he can take your business and leverage it to the next level. That's true entrepreneurship. So understand that there's levels to go through that you need to go. Everybody wants to get to the full entrepreneurial level, but we have to go through those steps, and that's normal. You have to crawl before you walk. You have to walk before you run. You have to run slowly before you run far, or you run fast. It's the same process in business, but just to let you know that thinking. So you're sitting there going, I'm frustrated. Where am I? What do I need to focus on? What do I need to do? How do I do this? So that's why I said, let's just stop. Let's take a breather. It is exhausting. It is frustrating, but let's build this business to serve you. So that when you see the trees in the forest, you can actually discern between the wood, which is something you can turn into money, versus the forest. So the little things versus the big picture. And we want to go through that process. Because here's the thing, we get into everything in life and we just don't have a plan. So if you've ever got married, or if you've ever gone to a wedding, if you're not yet married, you'll know that a lot of planning went into that event. Months, sometimes years. We used absolute specialists in their field, a specialist to bake the cake, a specialist to take the photographs, a specialist venue. The minister, the person overseeing the ceremony, is a specialist to make the ring that we share. But how much time goes into planning the life thereafter? How many husbands and wives, once they get to that point where they say, I do till death do us part, forever and a day, actually have spoken about the future? or ever sit down and talk about the future? Have you done that for your life? Have you done that for your family, your relationship with your children? Have you done that with your money? Have you designed a plan of what a good brother, family member, son you'd like to be? No, we just get on with it. And then we're surprised when we have all these frustrations come up in the process. Because how do we create that life, that business, that wealth? We plant little trees and we nurture them. We do little bits at a time, and before we know it, we've achieved a hell of a lot. And that's why the overnight success that we read about, that we see, takes 25 years. It takes 25 years to be an overnight success. Even the IT companies that we think are overnight successes, purely because of scale and leverage and funding, it often takes them 15 years to be an overnight success. The rubbish we see on our phone, where people are professing the success in a year or 2 or 3, and fancy cars and nice makeup and good clothes and good shoes, it doesn't work like that. It's planting the little trees, nurturing them, watering them, and then we go along. So how are we going to do that? So here's where you need to start taking notes. Tabo referenced it. The first one is, what's the dream? And I know there was a comment earlier on what's the difference between a dream and a goal. We're going to get to goal now, but what is the dream? So sit back, think about it. For my future, what do I want? What do I want to create? Where do I want to be? Personally first, personally. I want to be a good father. I've got 3 children. I want to be a good father. I want to be a present father. I want to be financially free. I want to be able to not just do what I want to do when I want to do it, but I want to allow the opportunity for others. If my children need and want an opportunity, I want to be able to share that with them. I want to be able to share that opportunity with my parents who sacrificed to get me to where I am. I like motorbikes. I want to ride motorbikes. I like to travel. I want to travel. What is the dream for you? And that's the big picture. But it doesn't help you just think it. You need to go write it down. And not on your phone. This is not writing. You want to get a pen and paper and you want to write it down. Because this is a little bit about the wish. This is a bit about the fantasy. This is about the long term. Because once I've written it down, you can then do things like dream charts, and you can cut out pictures and put them up, because it becomes visually true before I'm there. So let me see on my phone, and I don't have on my phone, I've got my computer. On my computer, I've got visually what my 4 dreams are for the year, which I've then translated into goals. I've got a dream board for the short term. These are the things that I'm focusing on the next year or 2. And then I've got one that will probably cost billions to do, but it's my long-term dreams. Because that gets me up in the morning. I have a dream for my business. I have a dream for my business in the country, because I believe that business is there for a better tomorrow. We launched a campaign recently, everyone employ one, because the dream for the country is we need to get rid of this rubbish called unemployment. It is unacceptable that 7.2 million people are looking for a job and that another 4 million have actually stopped looking for a job. That is unacceptable. That's the dream. So when I'm having a tough day, when I don't want to get out of bed, when I've faced a closed door, when I look at my bank account and it doesn't say what it needs to say, it's the dreams that keep me going. It's the dreams. But they need to be specific. It doesn't help I got this dream and it's airy-fairy and I haven't written it down and I haven't put it into pictures. And then I need to start sharing that dream. Because here's the thing I know. If you share your dreams, you'll have few people that will push you down. Tabo mentioned it. That's not realistic. Are you kidding? Who do you think you are? And you need some of those people, because you need to be able to prove them wrong. But there'll also be people that will say, pat on the back for you. That's a great idea. Wow, can you imagine if that's true? And the more you tell other people about your dreams, the more it becomes real. And that's the difference between a dream and a fantasy. A fantasy does not exist. A dream does. It exists in your mind. And the more you share it, the more it becomes tangible and the more it becomes real. And I see Selo says here, that's so true. They hate you before you even listen to you. Fantastic. I want people like that because I want them to challenge my dream so that I make sure that it is my dream. Because if I get negative feedback, I'm going to think, okay, is this really my dream? Yes, it is. If I get negative feedback, I'm going to go back to the dream and go, okay, is that what I really want? Is it possible? So it's good to help me sense check my dream. But then it's also nice to go, well, I will show you. I will prove to all you people that I will do it. And we had that when we brought Action Coach to South Africa 14 years ago. People said to me, it will never work, Harry. People don't like paying for services. They're egotistical. They don't like asking for help. And as South Africans, we just do it on our own. Nobody's going to pay for coaching. Well, 14 years later, hundreds of millions in revenue over that period, we're still here. So that feedback is sometimes right. And if you're getting too much negative feedback, then just don't talk to those people anymore. And some of those people might be your family. That's okay. Then you just don't talk to them anymore. That's fine. Okay. I like this one. Write my answer plainly on tablets. Even the 10 commandments were written down on templates. So important. Right. Then we want to take the dream and turn it into a goal. Now I'm going to talk about the sections of goals that we put together, but exactly what Thabo said, a goal is breaking down my dreams and putting timelines to it. And there I want to think around 3 categories. Long-term goals. There we're looking at kind of 3 to 5 years. It's not something that I'm going to achieve this week, next month, next quarter, or even next year, but it's kind of in 3 years to 5 years time, that's where I want to be. And that with the rate of change is more or less where a realistic goal setting period is. If you start to say, well, 10 years from now, that's my goal, you don't have too much control of that. So you've got the dream, that's the long term. But when I come goals, I want to do long term kind of 3 to 5 years. I then want to say, okay, if that's my 3 to 5 year goal, that's where I want to be 3 to 5 years from now. Where do I need to be at the end of this year? Okay, now that takes a little bit of thought. Now that takes a little bit more commitment. Well, if that's my yearly goal, what do I need to do in the next 3 months so that by quarter, if I do this in one quarter, that in quarter 2, that in quarter 3, that in quarter 4, I break it down, then I'll get to my yearly goal. If I hit my yearly goal plus next year's goal plus next year's goal, then I'll get to my long-term goal. And if I know what I need to do by quarter, I can break it down by month. I can break the monthly goal down by week. I can break the weekly goal down by day. And a goal is not my to-do list. Yes, my daily goals might have lots of to-do list items in it, but a goal is something that should inspire. It should challenge. It should take some effort. It's not, well, I've got 100 things to do, so these are my goals. No. That's stuff I have to do. What do I want to achieve? So think of a sense of achievement. If I get to that point, what would I have achieved? And that's how we set a goal, because then that becomes our guiding light. So my dreams are long-term, they give me inspiration, but my goals keep me focused. So if somebody's coming to me with stuff that's not aligned to my goals, if it's going to distract me, then I'm not going to do it because I've got my goals. But if I don't have goals, the converse is also true. If I don't have goals, I get distracted with everything. Everything looks like a new idea, a new opportunity. This is my business. Then somebody tells me something else. Okay, I drop my business and I start something new. I add another product, a new division. That will drive you insane. And you'll work very hard and you'll chase your tail and you'll make no money. What is my goal? And then I evaluate everything that comes my way. Is this taking me towards my goal or not? And if not, sorry, I have to say no. And it's like David says, if you don't have goals, you get dragged into many unnecessary things. Everything looks like an opportunity. Everybody supposedly has this good deal. So I'll give you a practical example of this. Yesterday, somebody phones the office. They want to speak to the managing director. I was between calls. I said, okay, well, let me take the call. Somebody from a digital marketing agency, they want 20 minutes of my time to do a presentation today. Well, first of all, I'm busy the whole week. You cannot get an appointment just the afternoon, you phone and you get one the next morning. It doesn't work like that. I said, but okay, before I meet with you and give you the 20 minutes of my time, what are you going to tell me that's different from what I already do in my company versus also what everybody else does there? No, we're going to talk about AdWords and online marketing and social media marketing. And I said, yes, I know, but we do that already. So what are you going to tell me that's different? What do you as a person bring to the party? No, well, that's why we want the 20 minutes to come talk to you, because then we can discover what your company does and we can learn more about your products and services, and then we can come up with recommendations. I said, no. That research you could have done on Google before you phoned me. You're not coming up with a differentiator. You are not telling me how you're going to add value to me. Therefore, I have goals already to chase. I haven't got 20 minutes for you. Sorry. Oh, and she was a little bit despondent, but that's the specifics. Think about that same process for your business. Now we've got the dreams. We've set some specific goals, long-term, medium-term, short-term. Now I have to go to learn. Because the reality is most of those goals I don't know how to achieve. Let's think of something practical. So one of my goals this year, fitness goal, is called 1580. I want to weigh 80 kilograms consistently and less and have 15% body fat. Well, that sounds easy. No, because now I need a measurement. Weight is easy. Body fat, not so easy. Can get it from a scale, or I might need to go see somebody. Now I have to track two different things. I have to not only get fitter and watch what I eat, there's a combination of things that need to happen. So I have to do some more learning. And we joke about this in our business, but it's not really funny. The only place where you earn before you learn is in the dictionary. So if you go to the dictionary, you find earn, and then later on you only find L, learn. Everywhere else in life, it's the other way around. You first need to learn. You need to learn to get better at marketing. You need to learn to get better at finance. You need to learn to get better at managing people. You need to learn to get better at sales, because those are the things that I need to help me achieve my goals. So I've got the dream, the big picture stuff. I've then got goals. Now I put a learning plan together, learning goals together, learning schedule. I need to read these books. I need to attend these masterclasses that we're doing at the moment. I need to look for a coach or a mentor. I need to attend some extra outside courses, whatever it may be for you. And not, again, distraction stuff that's going to help me achieve my goals. So I design it from the top down, but I manage it bottom up. So I start with the dreams, but then I want to manage my learning, must support my goals, which must support my dreams in the process. Okay, and like Kepratse is saying, the research component comes into that. Well, I got these goals, but now I have to actually go research the market, because otherwise I might be a little bit off the point. And if that lady had rightfully so did the research yesterday, she would have got the appointment, because I'm willing to always look. Tabo spoke about questions. If she'd phoned me and she'd said, listen, Harry, research your company, love what it is that you do. I'd just like to ask you a few questions. Would you mind? I'd say, no, sure. Do you currently do AdWords, social media marketing, all the rest of it? Yes, we do. Do you do it in-house or with an outsourced supplier? Well, no, we do it in-house. We haven't been very happy with our outsourced suppliers. Great. Are you happy with your results? Well, you can never be truly happy with your results. Would you be open to some new ideas to see if we could add some more value to what you're already doing? Bob's your uncle. I would have made 20 minutes for her. See how it works together, in the process? Okay. And this part is then the critical part, because we bounce between goal and then just taking action. We don't do the learning, but once you've got the learning, I now know what needs to go into the plan. What do I need to do? What do my staff need to do? What do other people need to do, when and where, so that I've got my goal. I've now learned the elements that I need to do to put a good plan together. And there is some literature, some videos, some books out there that said, oh, business planning is a waste of time because things change too quickly and you shouldn't have a business plan. That's absolute crap. I tell you why. Because as the owner of the business, I want to be nimble. I want to be flexible. I want to sometimes wing it, work with gut instinct, make sure that I can take opportunities. Yes. But I don't want my company to do that. I don't want my staff to be winging it, to be distracted, to be all over the place. I want them to be executing the plan. Because the better the plan is for the team, the more it frees me up to be doing strategic planning, looking at the future, innovating, stuff like that. And that then helps ensure that they are driving the plan through what we need to learn as an organization, hitting the goals, and ultimately my dream. So the plan should effectively be, here it is, self-explanatory, doesn't have to be hundreds and hundreds of pages, but it makes sense that somebody that doesn't even know your business could implement it. So it must have some detail to it. A business plan is not 5 goals on a bullet point. How are we going to achieve each of those 5 goals? Who's going to do what? What's the milestones? What's the measurement? How do we know that we've achieved it? It's those kind of things that are important. Because then we can actually stay focused and move forward. Just looking through the questions here, making sure I keep tabs on anything coming through in the chat as well as we're going along in the process. Because the basis of the plan is also the foundation of the business. I wouldn't build a house without a plan. I wouldn't decide to go on holiday without some form of plan. Yet in my business, I don't always have it. And it's the foundation with which we build on that's important. So a business plan is not a once-off document that some consultant did for us through CEDA and we put it in the file because it helped us get funding, or we didn't get funding, we forget about it. No, it evolves like a house does. A house has a business plan and we add to it more or less, but as we get closer to realizing the plan, we then change. Oh, I don't want the window there anymore, I want it here. I want to tweak the kitchen a little bit around. I want to move the taps in the bathroom. Okay, so even the plan is quite liquid. Then once I move into the house, I'm happy with no curtains, but then I want curtains, then I want blinds, then I want to change the kitchen eventually. So that plan, much like your business, is just the foundation that we ultimately then build on at the end of the day. And yes, sadly, we won't need a business plan for funding. I used to be in funding, in banking, and I used to see copy and paste business plans that literally they copy and paste somebody else's stuff onto your business plan, and it's a complete waste of time. It needs to be true for your business and not thumb suck. Actual facts, actual stats, actual information, that's important. Because if I have the dream, the big picture stuff that I'm excited and inspired about, I've translated that into long-term, medium-term, short-term goals. I've gone to do the learning that I need to on each of those areas for development, which have helped me put together a robust plan. Now it becomes easy to take action because I don't have to procrastinate because I know what to do. I don't have to get sidetracked. My team don't have to get sidetracked. Hell, I don't have to sidetrack my own team because you as entrepreneurs do that. I do that because our team have got a plan and then we come in with new ideas and we distract them. No, it's clear. Keeps us all focused. Now it's easy to take the actions. So that formula for life success that Starboard started with is that simple. It's your dreams multiplied by your goals, multiplied by the learning that you take now and ongoing, multiplied by the plan that you put together for you and your team, your organization, and the actions that we take. Those are the 5 areas. So as you think of those 5 areas, type in which is the area that you think the most is neglected for you. Which is the area that needs the most work? Is it taking action? Is it putting together a good plan? Is it maybe the learning that's required? Do you not set good enough goals? Are they not your goals? Are they not specific enough? Or do you actually need to dream a little bit more? So type in what you think is the area that you lack the most. And I see plan, sticking to the plan, Good planning, amazing how that always comes up. Putting together good plan, the taking the action on the plan, very important. Conversion, yeah, so a lot of people planning, and then the timelines, because the timelines are critical. Because here's the thing, as human beings, we're lazy. We look for the easy way out. As entrepreneurs, it's even worse. Because if you're working for somebody else, they're looking over your shoulder, making sure you're doing the work. When I'm working for myself, who's looking over my shoulder? Who's kicking my butt? Who's pushing me? Who's guiding me? Who's supporting me? Who's wiping my tears? Well, often nobody. So whether I do it today or I don't doesn't matter. And the reality when we procrastinate, because I know that's a problem for a lot of people, and I see a couple of people who actually typed it in. The reason why we procrastinate is we don't know what to do that's going to help us get our goals. So we've got these dreams and we're taking action, but we don't see the link. And that's why the dream must go into actions, as on your screen, short, medium, long term. Because then I know the milestones I need to hit. Then I put the plan together and take the actions. Now it's easy not to procrastinate. Because we procrastinate because we actually don't know what we want. We don't know when we want it. We've got too many things we're thinking about, trying to do. And the downside of the plan, let's be honest, is we have to commit. It's like writing down our dreams. Once we've done the plan, written it out, typed it up, printed it, it forces us to have the accountability to implement, because it removes all the excuses we may have. And that's why it works. That's why it takes away the procrastination, because now we've done the detail. Now I've got no excuse. Procrastination is a nice excuse. Yeah, but I don't know. I didn't have the time, didn't have the money. No. Everybody's got 24 hours in a day. Most businesses, even the multi-billion rand corporates that we know today, were started with naught money. And they grew through trading and getting more and stuff like that. That's the reality. So if those are your excuses, that's why you're often procrastinating. But know this, there is no straight curve of growth and development. We grow, we stagnate, we dip a little bit. That gets our backside into gear. We grow, we stagnate, we dip a little bit. That happens forever. It happened all through our school career. When we left primary school, we were a hero. 3 weeks later in high school, we were nothing. If you got to matric, you matriculated, you were a hero. 3 weeks later, when you started in the job market or you went to university, whatever, you were nothing. That will happen forever. The problem is we think the way the systems work, that we get through school. If we go to lucky enough to go to university, we get through university and then it stops. Now we must just cruise. Now we must just make money. Now the world must just unfold in front of us. Doesn't work like that. Now the work starts to get to the next level, and then the next level, and then the next level. That's growth and development. And if business was easy, if entrepreneurship was easy, everybody would do it. It's supposed to be hard because it keeps everybody else out, the system. We have to get better and know that evolution, that learning that needs to take place all the time. But if you look at dream, goal, learn, plan, action, whilst it's not always easy, it's not complicated. It's not like it's rocket science. It's a relatively simple way to go about achieving what you need to achieve. And I thought I'd just put this up here for you. If you have been exposed to it, great. If you haven't, it doesn't really matter. But Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So he was kind of one of the founding fathers of psychology as it is today. And he came up with this hierarchy of what we need to survive, what drives us, what motivates us. And if we don't have the basics in place, why are we trying to do self-actualization stuff? Why are we trying to be financially free and not work every day when we don't have enough food to put on the table? We first get the basics right. We don't go out and buy flashy things until we can afford the basics. And I think that's the sad part about the modern generation, is that we want the spoils before we've done the work. Look through the rubbish that you see on social media. Look through the rubbish that people put out there and realize dream, goal, learn, plan, action. What is it for me? Where do I need to focus on? and therefore I go about doing it. Because just quickly, there's 3 ways to go about wealth, and business as a vehicle is the one. The first one is you have to make money. You have to make money, and your business is the vehicle to make money. Making money, the first thing. To do that, attend these masterclasses. Work with Coach Thabo. Build your business to make the money. Once you've made the money, you then start going up the ladder of entrepreneurship. You get to that point where there's a little bit of surplus, and then you start getting into investing. A little bit at a time, a little bit more, and then it snowballs. And that's the second part of wealth, is the investing. And then we also want to look at it preserving money. So not necessarily under the bed, but how do we look after it? How do we take out insurances, all the rest of it? And those are other masterclasses for sure to go through. But the making part is what these masterclasses are about, to equip you to run a more profitable, more sustainable business. But I said we're not going to do it for you. As we saw right in the beginning, nobody's got anything better planned for your life than you. So there is no try in business. You either do it or you don't. Up to you. You either do it or you don't. You either find a way or you don't. You either learn the skills or you don't. You either dream or you don't. You either set the goal or you don't. You either learn or you don't. You either plan or you don't, or you take action or you don't. You either do all of them or you don't. The choice is yours, but the results will be based on that choice. And the more you take the right decisions, make the right choices, the more the success will be there. And then, besides questions and answers, the next part of today is to say, okay, now I have to go take the action. Now I have to go take the action. We've got a colleague that we work with in this business, and we do some great work together. I know Tabo's also presented on some of her masterclasses, Margaret Hirsch. Margaret Hirsch, together with her husband, Alan Hirsch, founded the Hirsch's chain, and it's still a privately owned business that competes with the likes of a Game and a Checkers and a Hi-Fi Corporation and all the rest of it. She got her MBA last year in the 70s. I won't say how old she is. She'll be maybe a bit upset. She looks like she's about 40. She's in her 70s and she got her MBA last year. It's a never-ending process of growth. You earn the right to have bigger problems. That's all. You've got through the nitty-gritties. Now you've earned the right for bigger problems. You get through that, you've earned the right for bigger problems. And the more problems you solve, the more value you add, the wealthier you will be. The richest people in the world are the ones that add the most value, impact the most lives, employ the most people, etc., etc. It's as simple as that. Yes, you must do it ethically. Fortunately, most people do. There's, of course, a few that don't. But that's the process. Pretty simple. So hope that's been valuable. Hope you've taken lots of notes. I'll maybe share that video again, the entrepreneurial video. Let me just put it up there for you. If you haven't got the link, would like to go watch it again. And it talks about that 25-year overnight success. It's like 90 seconds long, but it's about what you do and the efforts you put in and to persevere, and then you will get there. So been an absolute privilege to join you today. Thabo, thank you so much for inviting me. And we'll definitely be around for a bit longer for Q&A.
All right. Thank you very much, Mr. Harry Welby-Cook. I call him the big boss. So yeah, I think that was very valuable. I mean, even I myself, I've been to your talks. Like I said, you transformed me to truly love my country, as I was also about to get a ticket to Australia. Not sure what I was going to do when I get there, but you know. So yeah, you have really, really transformed me during that session when you challenged us as true South Africans. Guys, I must say, here behind the scenes, I'm watching your participation, and I think Refilwe said something that, you know what, guys, we're on the right track. And I can also confirm that, you know what, for the fact that you are here, you stayed from the beginning, you are still here, definitely on the right track. The good news is, you know that English thing, right? Anyways, so what is going to happen here, guys, and which is the best thing about this, we're not just giving you prizes, is that the teaching for today We've got the teaching. Each and every one of you, you've registered, you've sent your email address. You will see before the end of the day today, you are each and everyone going to receive material that can help you build your dreams from the session, that can help you actually, work it out. And if you've got any questions, Mr. Cool will give you our details later on as well. So thank you so much for attending. We are not done yet. Now, this is the time for questions. Let's bring back Mr. Cool. You can come up, ask us questions. I'm here to answer. Our guest speaker is here to answer. So yeah, anyone with those critical questions, please raise your hands. Mr. Cool will moderate this one where we take questions. Yes, Mr. Cool, how many questions do we have? Who's got questions? I think we can take maybe 3 questions and then, yeah. All right, first questions.
First question that we have is from Shishavo Matebani. It says, at what stage during goal setting do you remove your soul from the business, that it runs without you and people can talk about the business without mentioning your name?
Okay, and then second question.
The second question we have is also from Shishavo Matebani. It says, how easy is it to learn what you know about business and program your mind to learn about valuable business information?
All right, let's have one more.
The next one, it says, what are the disadvantages of niching down your business? Is it a disadvantage in only focusing on one sector when starting or running a business? Or is it a disadvantage to only focus on one sector when running or starting a business?
All right. Big Boss, can I make you proud here? Let me first answer from my side, and then, yeah, you can add into that. Now, 3 questions that were asked. The first question that I will ask my fellow South Africans is that from the third question, right, the most important thing, somebody talked about different sectors, and this is the problem that I always come across as a business coach. One, there's an experiment that was done, or questions that were asked to people like your Bill Gates, your Jeff Bezos, all the successful people. They were asked exactly what is just one thing that is common that you guys did, or they were just asked, what did you do to get here? And one common answer that was discovered is focus. Focus. When you start a business, focus on one, make it successful. Only then you can expand, or only then you can actually get to others. You get people, I'm doing this and this and this, touch and go. That's why they said master of none, what jack of all trades and master of none. So I've seen people who are touching here, they build nothing. And why I chose to actually come in and answer first before even I give to a keynote speaker is that, number one, in South Africa, we need people who can build businesses. This hustlership that you only touch here, there's money. Now you touch here, there's money, you hire 4 people, money comes on the other side, you leave that business now, 4 people lost the job, and then you jump into the next. Focus. That's my answer for the third question. And then going to the second question that we asked, I think the first question, okay, both of them actually, I'll give the same answer. Number one, when do you exit your business? I think while you are doing that, maybe can I ask, since there is a slide about 6 steps on how to build a business. That is why I bought the Franchise Action Coach myself, so that we can use this tool that is built businesses across the world, in Africa, especially for African business, for our township businesses, which I feel sometimes the solution, you are being fed crumbles, you are being fed, we want to put you there, but you are given here. So we brought this premium franchise to bring it to you so that you know the exact right tools to do that. We've got what we call 6 steps to building a successful business. I always say to people, it's simple. What is a business? I think our keynote speaker spoke about as well, there's a difference between self-employed, meaning that when you're self-employed, if you have to move out, or when you are coming to the seminar, you have to close your business. You are self-employed, you're not in business. But when you're in business, it has got 2 things that work. You don't work. You need to have people, you need to have systems. And think about it in South Africa now. If we have somebody who can build a system or a business that has got systems and that has got people and hire 10 people, and multiply that business that is profitable in different areas. That is how we're going to create jobs. Not to let each and every one of you start a business. Not everyone was meant to do this. So that's exactly the only time you can exit your business if it has got systems and it has got people, then it's working. You don't need to work, then you can exit. Okay, and then, yeah, that's that. I think with all those answers, I'm going to hand over, like I said, to my mentor here, Mr. Welbecook.
Yeah, thanks, Top. And you can really start with Mr. Welbecook. It's just plain Harry, guys. I'm just like you on this process. I've maybe started a bit younger. I've put in a little bit more effort, but I'm just like you. So Harry's fine. So I think Top is 100% right focus. Think of trying to chase two chickens. You've got two chickens out there and they're running around. You think you're going to chase both of them. This is all that's going to happen. You're going to run around. You're going to build up a sweat. You're going to almost have a heart attack and be way overexerted, and you're going to catch none. And even if you sort of catch the one, before you've got a good grip on it, you're trying to get after the next one, that first one escapes. And that's what's happening all the time. And I'll use a practical example. We had two coffee shops in this Techno Park area in Stellenbosch where I'm based. During lockdown, one went out of business, so there was one left. Today, there's 5. It's not enough business here for 5. Half the people aren't even back to the offices. And we started with 2, and now we've got 5 with less people. That's just stupid. Don't do what everybody else is doing. Find where your niche is and commit to it. Because like Thabo says, that focus. It's the commitment. You do what it takes to get there. And every single successful person will say the same thing. I think, and it lends itself to when's your business done. Your business is done when, if you're not there, it makes more money without you than it did with you. And that's as simple as that. And for most businesses, that's going to be a lot longer than you think. You look at Bill Gates today. Yes, today Microsoft doesn't work without him. But even if there was a big problem, as the majority shareholder, he'd still get involved. So I think we've got this fantasy that we just want to do a little bit of work and then do nothing ever again. The wealthiest people are old and still working in some way or form. They're not starting at 8, finishing at 5. They have freedom, they have flexibility, but they're still involved. And this week, obviously, as a colony of the British Empire, we still get a lot of the British news. And with Prince Philip dying at the age of 99, the Queen is 94. She still works. Warren Buffett is in his 80s. He still works. Microsoft's founder, Bill Gates, he no longer works in Microsoft. He still works in his foundation to eradicate problem. So often what happens is we just move passions. We don't stop working. And we don't have the time today. Maybe in a future session, I'll talk about the history of pension funds. This notion of retirement was created by the pension funds. Before there was a pension fund, we would just change passions. We would change areas of focus. We would maybe scale up or scale down the intensity of our work. But we've got this fantasy of we want to do nothing. Humans aren't wired to do nothing. So that's my take on those two.
All right. Thank you very much. I think we've got hands up. Mr. Cool, could you let our guests, maybe 3 of them, just to ask us questions? We have their hands raised. Okay. Technical problems as come. Okay, let's try. Let's see. Thabo, let's see.
There's one question or comment that's come up from Nyakalo that I think is relevant, because he says here, what reconnects you with your dream after you've lost your trust in your ability? So I want to answer that from a practical example. So last year when we went through COVID, it was relatively easy for us because we'd been using digital platforms before. We flicked the switch on the Wednesday, and on the Thursday we were working virtually. From a practical perspective, that was easy. We had a lot of clients that couldn't pay us, and we committed to every single one of our clients to say, we will do whatever we need to do to make sure that you get through this, and we'll sort out the money later. And we're very proud of the fact that we could do that, and most of our clients actually had record years last year. But in the process, we actually lost a few of our franchisees who, for a variety of reasons, left the business. And therefore, we actually, on the client-facing side of the business, had a good year, but on the franchising side, had a terrible year. And I did find myself going, is this really a vision? Is this dream real? Shouldn't there maybe be an easier way to make money? The frustrations of business kind of got a little bit to me, I'll be honest. And what made me reconnect was going back to the dream, going back to the fact that I have two brothers that live overseas, one in America and one in the UK. I wouldn't even think about going anywhere else. I love this country. And what really did it for me was in February, when our new unemployment figures came up, I'd thought of this Everyone Employ One campaign in 2013 already. That's 8 years ago. And it hasn't been perfect and we don't have the scale. And I just said, screw this. I'm going to live up to my dreams. I'm going to be part of the solution that I want to do. And I reconnected with the core of why I'm doing what I'm doing. And if you reconnect with the core of why you're doing what you're doing, then it becomes so much easier to have the inspiration and the passion and the resilience to bounce back and do what you need to do.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Harry. Just to make you happy now, we give you different names anyway. So, all right, there's a question now that has actually been asked. I see a lot. People are asking, and I think this is something that we should actually put into perspective. What is the difference between vision and mission? Because a lot of people get your business plans that are written by other people, and they actually don't know what their visions are, their goals are, its current place. So if I may ask then from the technical team, I would like to put a whiteboard. Mr. Cole, okay, there it is. Now I'm going to draw this. I will say from my side, like I said, I've got my mentor here. He will also add and assist. When you talk about a mission and vision, excuse my drawing, I think this is better than Rasta. You will agree. Okay, now, you know when you go to climb Mount Kilimanjaro over there, on top, that's what your vision is, that's what your dream is. This is where you look and say, when it's all said and done, how does this look like? That's exactly what your vision is. Now, even your business, when you talk about your finished business, when it's all said and done, you've built all the systems, you've got the people in there, everything's working. How does it look like? What is it? That's what the vision is. And when you talk about the mission, this is here, this journey that you take actually to get to your vision over there, all the steps that you take in between, that is then becomes your what? Your mission. That is how I explain it. But let me hear from my mentor. Harry?
Yeah, Thabo, so I think that's a great way of depicting it, because it does speak to the truth. So I'm going to use a military example, but I'm going to bring it down to South African context, which was a war. So the vision is you want to win the war. Germany wanted to dominate the world. That was their vision. And the rest of the world wanted to stop them. That was the vision. But there's multiple battles, as Thabo was saying, up that journey where we mission. We're going on a mission together with a certain set of rules, a certain set of circumstances to win the mini battle on the way to winning the war, which is the vision. So look at South Africa, post or pre-1994. The vision was a free South Africa for all. That was the vision. There was multiple missions to get us to that point. And it just because we unbanded the ANC and let Nelson Mandela out of prison, that was a mission one, but the vision wasn't achieved just yet. That came a few years later. But I think if you look at what's the problem with where South Africa is today, we lack vision. We've seen great success stories in the world, Rwanda, Dubai, Singapore, where they've created a vision and gone after that vision. We're still trying to fight around, where are we? We had such a beautiful vision to get us to free South Africa, which we did, and we were the model of the world. We now need a new vision. But what we're doing in the meantime, and this is where the two connect, we're trying to mission on different things that don't tie up to an ultimate vision. So you cannot have the mission before you have the vision. You have the vision first, then you go back and say, okay, what's the mission to help us get there? So if you look at even long-term, medium-term, short-term, vision is your ultimate goal. It's not even long-term, it's the ultimate. And then the vision and the mission is to say, okay, what needs to go towards that? So your vision should never really change, but your mission on the way to getting there might be tweaked and developed and have little amendments as we go along.
Thank you very much, Harry. Guys, it's 10:49. I think we'll take 2 more questions, and then we will allow our keynote speaker to go because he's got another talk at 11 o'clock, and then we will hand over to Mr. Cool. You guys have attended. We promised you money. We promised you data. We promised you data, not data, data. Okay. We promised you data, and then what else did we promise you? A book from Exclusive Book starts with a Y, and then Mr. Cool can then award the people, because I know that our team in the background, they are busy doing the audit. So with that being said, can we have just 2 more questions? Because we need to finish exactly at 11, but we need to let our keynote speaker go. Okay, Mr. Cool, can we have 2 last questions?
Yeah, let's take one here from YouTube. It says, where do I start as a startup without going to a consultant to cut and paste for me?
Okay, and then the last one.
Is it wrong to do a different business to raise funds for achieving your dream business?
All right. Harry, I'll give them to you since you have to go.
Sure. Lasala, just repeat that last question for me. Is it wrong to?
The last one, is it wrong to do a different business to raise funds for achieving your dream business?
Okay. So let's start with that. There's nothing wrong with raising funds and to achieve a business. And if your current business isn't working out, or it's not viable, there's no commercial viability to, but you've got another idea where you think you can raise some funds and get that going, great. Because here's also the other thing I know, is that my route to my ultimate vision is not a 4-lane highway without potholes and it's all straight. It's going to have twists and turns. I'm going to get a flat wheel. I'm going to get on a dirt road. I'm going to hit potholes. So sometimes you have to deviate from your current plan because it's going to ultimately help you get to your vision. And therefore, if that is the reality, one needs to do that transition quite quickly and not get too emotionally stuck and say, okay, well, here's a new opportunity that is going to get me closer to my vision. The other one's not. Let me go with this route and trust the process for the ultimate vision. I think that is a way to look at that. The other one is where to start. I haven't got quite a blank piece of paper, but let me just move across here. I'll fold it so it looks blank. Where to start? An empty piece of paper and a pen and to think. I don't think as humans, let alone business people, we think enough. So where do I need to start? I need to think, what do I want for my life? If I've got some business ideas, let me think this through. How many other people do this? Have I got a uniqueness? Because not every business can be different. Not every business can be unique, but can I do something unique within that business that's going to make a difference and make me stand out and help me get there? Then once I've got clarity around my business, then I can say, okay, what's the model? Is it just me? Is it in partnership with others? Do I need to employ staff? Can I start in the meantime? Do I need funding? Okay, and then I can actually map it out. So good old scribbles, mind maps, bullet points, pictures, that's the best place, is to think. I call it think out loud. So you might sound a bit mad if you're talking it through. You're welcome to talk it through, but you think out loud on a piece of paper. And that then makes it, then you go, okay, now this is a stupid idea. Oh, this will work. What if I take this piece and this piece? I've listed 5 people that I think I should talk to. 3, I think are going to be a waste of time. 2 might be valuable. And that's how I would get to then building it little bit by little bit. So and for anybody out there listening to this today, set aside thinking time at least once a week. 1 hour a week, which is your thinking time. And that helps you get clarity around where to go next. But when we're chasing our tail, when we're so busy, we never take the time to think and think it through. I'll give you another practical example, then I'm going to go. I got a bee in my bonnet. Over the weekend, we've been doing some little small-scale vegetables and herbs during lockdown, really enjoying it, taking stuff out the garden, putting it on our plates. And I said, no, we must do this on a bigger scale. So I went and bought a whole lot of things and cleared a bigger patch of the garden. So my 15-year-old teenage daughter, as teenage daughters can be, arms folded, no, Dad, this is stupid. Why are you taking away half the garden? I said, it's not half the garden. It's a portion that we don't use anyway, and we're going to make vegetables. So I'm laying out where I believe the things need to be. No, Dad, that's not going to work. You haven't thought this through, she said to me. I said, okay, great. So Hayley, let me hear how you have thought it through. Because I'll happily, if my idea isn't a good one, take the feedback. And she said, John, no, but your idea doesn't work. I said, yes, you told me that. But tell me your idea and let's think through yours. And the reality, she could tell me that my idea is not going to work and I haven't thought it through, but she hadn't thought through the alternative. And when she came up with a few suggestions, I said, okay, then if this happens, then what about that? Oh, she hadn't thought that through. And I said, and what about this? Oh, no, I didn't think of that. So the thinking time is allowing us to think of the current situation, but also 1 or 2 or 3 steps ahead so we can think it through. Then we'll be much more successful in the process. So again, guys, you are my heroes. Going into business for yourself, I believe firmly that if it's not for business owners, we don't have a future in this country. I could care less what the politicians do. So for me to have a future in this country, for my children to have a future in this country, for us all to truly live in this proudly South African place that we live, which is truly special, it's you and me that's going to do that. And I hope we've been able to add some value to today. Take the action, make sure you attend as many of these as possible. And wherever we can help, we gladly will. But go make a success for you. Because if you make a success for you, many people around you will be impacted. And if we all do that, we'll have a fantastic country that lives up to what we already know to be true. And we'll actually start reading about it in the newspapers rather than the nonsense that the politicians get up to and what we do end up reading. So really a privilege to be on this, and thank you very much for your time today. I really appreciate it.
Well, thank you very much. Everyone is actually calling you Mr. Harry West. You know, I said Mr. Well Be Cooked, they're saying Mr. Harry now, so you see what's happening. Well, I'll stick to my name for you. Okay, Big Boss, thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We appreciate you. I know for sure the reason why I brought you here, you don't just say, and you know what is nice? Sorry, I just need to tell people, you know what is nice? Did you hear the honesty when Harry mentioned as well to exactly what happened to his business during COVID? I mean, I can say it in his presence as well. My business was thriving. And he is so honest, he will never lie to you. And these are kind of people you learn from. So you realize exactly why we bring you these quality speakers that we have on this webinar. With that being said, to our keynote speaker, we will let you go. And I see we actually have, I would like to acknowledge, I see we've got our MTN officials who are our proud sponsor in the webinar today. Angie, I saw you there. So we acknowledge you and thank you so much for coming in and seeing to it that we deliver to our people what we promised. So thank you very much. So Harry, thank you so much for being a keynote speaker. We'll let you go. And then, thank you. Well, ladies and gentlemen, just in closing, just before closing, I'm going to hand back over to Mr. Cool to give you prizes. But before we do that, can I give you my last, what do you call it? My last share for you guys, which I think it will add value. Now, one of the things I know as an African person as well, that one of the things we are struggling with is believing in ourselves, is also knowing exactly how to go about this. Now, let me give you this formula. Some of you know it. You wake up every morning, and what you do, you need to write what you call, okay, I just need to know exactly. Let me see if I can find it. Okay, eraser gone. Remember, I'm a Rasta now, I'm drawing. So, okay, let me try that again. Okay, there are things that we call, hey, what is happening here? Okay, let me just type it. Guys, okay. You know, there are things that we call IVVM statements. Now, if you want to focus and if you want to get right what you are doing, you need to master this. You wake up every morning, you look at your idea that you have, you look at that dream that you have, right? I stands for idealization. So this is what you talk about when you talk about your dream. You look at that dream that you have, that idea that you have, that God-given dream that you have. Why I say God-given? It's more powerful than you. And all it takes is for you to believe it. So keep on looking at it, because what happens in your life is what you allow. So as you keep on looking at it and it's clear, it has got clarity. You know, that's the idea that you have. So what do? You visualize it, which is the first V. After visualizing, but here's the thing, or I, it's for idealization or idea, your idea, what you're talking about, your idea, your dream. Okay, V, so what you need to do with that idea, what do? You visualize it. What magnifies or what grows in your life is what you allow. A lot of you guys, have you seen gender-based violence? When something comes of somebody, all of a sudden on the news, 10 stories that follow is gender-based violence. So what grows in your life is what you magnify. Negative thoughts, what grows in your life is exactly what you magnify. It's what you are looking at. So I choose, when they say you are always happy, I choose what? You've got an idea, which is your dream, and then you visualize it every day. Have you seen what happens? It excites you. It gives you energy. Then you are able to go in there and implement it. Now you also need to verbalize it. Say it out loud. You can stand in front of your mirror and look at yourself and look at your dream, exactly what you are seeing. If you are seeing yourself being a billionaire with all these things that are there, how you add value to other people's lives, look at yourself in the mirror and see that. Visualize it. It needs to be clear. Keep saying it. And that's how you actually manifest it. IVVM. Remember, it's an idea. You visualize, you verbalize. And that's how manifestation happens. Go read any book about manifestation and you will see exactly, even the people who are the most successful, that's exactly what they use. Okay, from my side, that's that. Just remember, you will get the material. One thing I just want to add, because we want to give you the best value, is that we've got a whole lot of questions, hundreds of them. So what we're going to do with the team, we will do a summary of these questions, and then Nyakalo M, manifestation, idea, visualization, verbalization, manifestation. Then it happens in front of you and you don't know how, but it's exactly the process you follow. I mean, by design. So what I was just saying is that I think we'll make a video of the summary. We'll post it again on YouTube. That's why please go like the YouTube, go like our Facebook, and then you'll see that video. We'll also send you the link on your emails together with the material that you are going to get. So you are not just here, to listen. We'll give you the material to work through as well. You can expect it on your emails. Any other questions, you will get our details. With all that, thank you so much for attending. Thank you, MTN. Thank you, EBL. Thank you, Action Coach. But most importantly, thank you to all you guys. We actually sold out in this webinar, and the people who also went to YouTube. Thank you so much for attending. We appreciate you, and we are here to help you grow. Mr. Cool, over to you.
And again to you, Coach Tabopiti, thank you very much for that fantastic session, as well to Mr. Harry Welby Cook from Action Coach Southern Africa. Thank you very much. I think all of you will agree with me that that was a fantastic session. So that's what we got for you today. As I said, you're in for a treat. For the next webinars, you're going to get the same quality expert entrepreneurs from all around the entrepreneurship area. So first, before we sign off, I'd like to announce the prizes as we told you today. So how this is going to work is I'm going to say what the prize is. I'm going to remind you now again what the prizes are for. But if you are the winner, please type in the chat box your name, email, and cell phone number so that we can get a hold of you and we can send your prize to you. So let me just quickly remind you what prizes we have. If you look at your screen, the first prize is a money prize, a cash prize. It's 1,000 Rand cash. If you remember, this was for participation on Zoom, sharing your thoughts, BFOs, blinding flashes of the obvious, all the learnings that you shared or that you had during the session today. Your thoughts, generally asking questions on Zoom. So the person who participated the most, and we can see that they were actually really paying attention. They're going to get 1,000 Rand cash prize. The next one is a 500 Rand MTN data. This one is for the audiences that are connected on YouTube. The criteria is the same, but this one is only for YouTube. But just remember that we're going to audit each winner at the end. So we are going to confirm the winner on Facebook about an hour from now. So make sure that you've liked our YouTube page, make sure that you've liked our Instagram page, make sure that you've liked our Facebook page as well. And then you'll be liable to win this cash prize. And also the last one is the book voucher for the book by Simon Sinek, Start With Why. So we'll send this to you. This is going to be a raffle from all the participants that we had on YouTube. We're going to decide who the winner is. So without on Zoom, sorry. So the book is only for Zoom participants. So without further ado, let us announce the winner of the book voucher. Now we have a raffle. And the winner is, for the raffle, Naomi Malebo. Naomi Malebo, congratulations to you. You are going to win the book voucher, Start With Why, the book by Simon Sinek. So please type in your details in the chat box right now so that the team can get those details and we can send it to you. Congratulations, Naomi. Congratulations. The next prize is an 500 Rand MTN voucher. This one is for participation on YouTube. The 500 Rand MTN voucher goes to Mongadi Lechesa. Congratulations, Mongadi. Congratulations, Mongadi Lechesa. You are the winner of the 500 Rand MTN data. Please note that this data is sponsored by MTN. So because the program is an MTN program, we're only giving out MTN data. So if you don't have an MTN SIM card, it might be a great idea to go buy that MTN SIM card today so that you can get your data. Please type your details on YouTube, Mongadi. Let's make sure that the team gets your details. Congratulations to you too for that one. And the final prize for the day, the big bucks. The final prize for today is 1,000 Rand. So 1,000 Rand, this is the person who's been participating the most throughout the Zoom platform. This is the person we've looked at the Q&A section and also the chats as well. I'm going to share the check. Drum roll, please. The winner of the 1,000 Rand is, congratulations, Samkeli Sozungu. Congratulations to you. You are going to receive 1,000 Rand. Please make sure that you also type in your details in our chat box so that the team can get a hold of you and give you or send you your prize. Congratulations to everybody who's connected today. As we promised, each and every week, every month, actually, we're going to be having speakers that come through to give us amazing webinars such as you had today. So please remember that this is an 8-month webinar series where we bring you the best speakers and experts in various fields of entrepreneurship. We have a great lineup for you, as you saw today. In the next webinars to come, we have speakers such as Vusi Tembekwayo and many others that will be joining us in this webinar series. So make sure that you keep connecting. Same time next month, the second week of the month, we'll be here again discussing the second topic. So make sure that you like our social media pages so that you get info on the next webinars in our series. Follow us on social media, on YouTube, Facebook, and the others. As we shared a bit earlier, you can also go to our website and see exactly what we do on www.eblinstitute.com. So feel free to reach out to us via email as well if you're interested to know more about what we do and the programs we offer at EBL Institute. Or if you have any questions that relate to entrepreneurship, we have a wide variety of experts in our program that can answer your questions and help you get your business to the next level. So that's all we have for you today. We'll see you next time. Thank you. Goodbye.